It's our turn, Kaylee.
On November 22nd, 1963, an event happened that is forever etched in American history and often remembered. As John F. Kennedy rode in a motorcade in Dallas, Texas with his wife, he was shot. Who would do such a heinous crime? Many believe that this gunman was Lee Harvey Oswald. Others believe there were more people involved. So who actually killed John F. Kennedy? Was it Oswald, or were there others involved? Another theory states he was shot in the back of the head or in the temple. He and his wife were popular in the media, as with pop stars and movie stars. So is that maybe motive to kill him? Conspiracy theories separate fact from fiction. 32% of people polled believe that Lee Harvey Oswald carried out this task on his own by Time magazine in 2003. Lee Harvey Oswald was a riddle to everyone. Evidence of varying reliability has linked him to virtually every group that had reason to want John F. Kennedy dead by StayFreeMagazine.org. Many think that he had ties to the Soviet Union because he had married a KGB colonel's daughter, or the niece of a KGB colonel. Another thought is that Lee Harvey Oswald was working with Fidel Castro, and they may say that Castro was a gunman he used because the CIA wanted to assassinate him. Another theory is, why did Jack Ruby kill Lee Harvey Oswald? People believe that it was to cover up the fact that he himself had something to do with the assassination. Conspirators have always had suspicions about Jack Ruby's claim to the Warren Commission that he shot Oswald so that Jackie Kennedy would not have to testify in Dallas at the murder trial. Many acclaimed that his motive was fabricated by Ruby's first attorney, Tom Howard. Ruby was sincere about Mrs. Kennedy, but was that the whole story? Conspiracy authors strongly imply that Jack Ruby was part of the Kennedy assassination conspiracy and that he wanted to confess to that, but he never did. So, was it the lone nut theory, or was it really the two nut theory? By mcadams.edu. There is another theory that states there were two suspicious men at Dealey Plaza. Both men were standing near John F. Kennedy when shots were fired. They say one man had an umbrella and the other was standing on the curb waving his arms in the air. Some think that he was giving the gunman a signal, while others think the umbrella may have been a weapon since there was no need for an umbrella that day. No one even thought anything about these two men as if they didn't exist. Later, the umbrella man was identified after a national appeal, and it ended up being Louis Stephen Witt. A theory that is plausible enough that some people believe is, did a secret agent shoot John F. Kennedy by accident? Agent George Hickey was riding in the follow-up car. Some recall him standing in the car with his weapon ready to fire. When he heard the gunshot, he accidentally lost his balance and discharged the bullet into the president's head. This could have been what possibly happened because there are some say he was shot in the back of the head. There are several other conspiracy theories out there, but none of them can be proven. There are autopsy photos that are either missing or were never looked at. The trajectory of the bullet was never known. They say John F. Kennedy was shot in the back of the head, but the smaller bullet wound was at his temple, with the back of his head having the most injury. And here is a picture of what some say would be the single bullet theory, somehow hitting him but missing the person in the front. So that goes along with maybe who killed him, where were they standing, how this all played out, which honestly we will never know. If John F. Kennedy was shot like they say he would, the wound sites would have been reversed, with the smaller being in the back and the larger in the front. These theorists think that the photos are missing to give a false impression of the direction of the gunfire that struck the president, also by mcadams.edu. I have watched the documentary on the assassination on the History Channel, which showed the shot hitting JFK in the right temple. I am not sure where they got the evidence that some think is true, but if they watched the documentary, they could see what I saw also. As for which, or if there was a conspiracy to kill him, we will never know. So, for now, we have to believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was the assassin, or do we? As I have wrote, some of these theories that people believe are just what they say, theories. Maybe Jack Ruby was trying to save Mrs. Kennedy from having to go through a trial. But as she mentioned, not truly knowing and just believing in this theory is all that she has. Mrs. Kennedy has used these words about her husband's death. There will be great presidents again, but there will never be another King of Camelot by news@yahoo.com. So, in conclusion, I believe that Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't the only one involved in this assassination, because there's so much evidence that also leads to other people. And I do believe from being or watching that documentary that he wasn't shot necessarily in the back of the head first. I believe he was first shot in the temple. But again, it's all just a theory, and I guess we'll never know.